Hello, it's Allan Arkush with another trailer from hell. We're on location, so this is technically a trailer from Fiji. That's right, we're on the island of Fiji. We're on a journey to Attack of the Crab Monsters. Why Fiji? Because it's an isolated island, just like the one in the movie. But in the movie, it's a nightmare island. I've known Roger Corman for almost 45 years. Yeah, that's a long time. It scares me too. I met Roger in 1974 when I went to work for New World Pictures in the editing room as Joe Dante's assistant in the trailer department. Roger basically taught me how to be a filmmaker. He gave me second unit jobs, he gave me rock and roll high school, and I came to really understand his aesthetic, which is why going back, I really have great affection for his 50s monster movies that conquered the world, Not of This Earth, Creature from the Haunted Sea, Little Shop of Horrors, and of course, Attack of the Crab Monsters. Now, that one's written by Chuck Griffith. And I got to meet and spend time with Chuck Griffith when he was directing and writing Eat My Dust, which I did the trailer for. So Chuck was always in the editing room. He was a really sweet man. He's kind of like your daffy uncle. It's a nice way to put it. He'd invite me and Joe and John and Tina and everyone in the editing room over for dinner, for a home-cooked meal. And he'd make us a big pot of meatballs and spaghetti or chili con carne and just be Chuck. Fabulous fantasist Chuck. He was so funny. You have not lived till you've read the first draft of any script he's written. He actually wrote a script for Rock and Roll High School that was too weird even for us. Roger, on the other hand, is a more straightforward guy. He went to engineering school. He's a pragmatist, but he also is really funny. The two of them together are really funny. They had enormous chemistry. They balanced off each other. It's kind of like they were the Martin and Lewis of 1950s monster movies. And I'm really glad that that part of my life I got to share with them and get to know them. It's a highlight of my career. I've been doing a lot of research on crabs. In Fiji, there are over 57 species of crab, but none of them are listed as crab monsters, which kind of makes sense because according to Chuck Griffith's script, these crabs started out as a normal-sized crab, and nuclear radiation caused them to grow to immense sizes. Then their minds were taken over by aliens. The crabs ate the previous Americans who came to this island, taking their brains and their voices. The crabs can communicate telepathically in English in the voices of their victims.
It's no good shooting, Dale. The bullets pass through it just like X-rays.
So, you have wounded me. I must grow a new claw. Well and good, for I can do it in a day. But will you grow new lives when I have taken yours from you?
That's right. They also can cause earthquakes, but their real mission? Crustacean population taking over our population. A sub-theme of this particular trailer from hell is monsters that are homemade. They look like they were made by the crew the night before shooting started. Well, the monster in Attack of the Crab Monsters is probably the upper level. Moving down the scale, you've got the Creature from the Haunted Sea. Think about it. He looks like he might be more comfortable on Sesame Street than actually scaring people in the haunted sea. You're probably wondering, what could the effects budget have been on a picture like this? Well, the crabs cost over $400. Yeah, that's right. And they're played by Ed Nelson and Beach Dickerson. I actually worked with Beach Dickerson 20 years later. They wore the crab suits on their shoulders and walked them around. Yeah, and there was two levers, one for the claws and one for the eyes. And Ed Nelson says that in a lot of shots, you can see his feet below the crab shell. Let's keep a tradition alive from the 1950s. They used to run a travel log, and they always ended like this. We bid a fond adieu to the sunsets over Fiji. So now, Roger Corman and Chuck Griffiths Attack of the Crab Monsters, a tidal wave of terror. You know, as an old trailer hand, I learned early on, the lower the budget, the higher the hyperbole. The most terrifying horror ever loosed on a shuddering earth. Our trailer from hell featuring Ular, the crab monster. I love this shot.
Here are monsters with razor-sharp claws that hand grenades and dynamite cannot stop. Nor searing fire and flame. Nor tons of...
All 50s monster movies need to have a happy ending. Crab Monsters, at a snappy 62 minutes and costing only $70,000, made over $1 million. Now, that's what Roger Corman would call a happy ending.